Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're delving into a profound and mysterious story from the Bible, the story of Hosea. This tale may raise eyebrows and provoke thought. It's a story that challenges conventional norms and societal expectations, presenting a provocative question: why, in all his wisdom and righteousness, did God instruct Hosea to marry a prostitute? Intrigued? Well, stick around, because by the end of this video you'll have a deep understanding of the profound message God wanted to convey. Imagine receiving a divine directive that challenges societal norms. This was the reality for a man named Hosea, a humble prophet from the Old Testament. God gave Hosea an unusual command, one that would have undoubtedly raised eyebrows and stirred whispers in the community. He was told to marry a woman named Gomer, a woman whose reputation was far from commendable. Her livelihood was one of the oldest professions known to humanity, one that was, and still is, often met with disdain and judgment: prostitution. Now, this was no ordinary marriage proposal. It was a divine directive, a call that Hosea couldn't ignore. But why would God ask such a thing? Why would he instruct his prophet to marry a woman involved in a lifestyle that went against societal and religious norms? This isn't a story about a man's blind obedience. This is a story about a divine plan. A deep and profound message that God wanted to communicate to his people. A message that was so significant, so powerful, that God chose to convey it through the personal life of his prophet. Hosea's life became a living parable. His marriage, his heartbreak, and his relentless love for Gomer despite her unfaithfulness became a mirror, reflecting the relationship between God and his people. It was a vivid illustration of God's unfailing love for Israel, despite their spiritual adultery and continual rebellion. Yet it's crucial to remember that this story isn't just about Hosea and Gomer. It's not just about ancient Israel, it's about us. It's about humanity's propensity to turn away from God, and his unfathomable love that relentlessly draws us back. So why did God choose such an unconventional method to communicate his message? Perhaps because it's in the unusual, the unexpected, that we find the most profound truths. It's in the breaking of norms and traditions that we discover the depth of God's love for us. A love so powerful that it defies human understanding and societal expectations. The union between Hosea and Gomer was a symbolic representation. This was not just a marriage but a living, breathing allegory. It was a mirror held up to the people of Israel, reflecting their own spiritual journey. Just as Gomer was unfaithful to Hosea, the Israelites were unfaithful to God. They turned away from him, seeking satisfaction in other gods, in wealth, in power. They strayed from the path he had set for them, just as Gomer strayed from her marriage vows. But this story isn't just about betrayal and waywardness, it's about love and forgiveness. The symbolism of Hosea's relationship with Gomer is profound. In this narrative, Hosea represents God, while Gomer stands for the Israelites. Despite Gomer's unfaithfulness, Hosea is instructed by God to love her, to forgive her, to buy her back from the life she's fallen into. This mirrors God's own love for his people, his willingness to forgive them, to redeem them, no matter how far they have strayed. The allegory reaches its climax when Hosea redeems Gomer, just as God redeems Israel. Hosea pays a price to buy Gomer back, an echo of the price God paid to redeem his people. It's a poignant reminder of God's unfailing love and his willingness to forgive, no matter the cost. This symbolism is not just relevant to the people of Israel during the time of Hosea, but it speaks to us today. We all stray, we all make mistakes, we all have moments when we turn away from God, but the story of Hosea and Gomer reminds us that God's love is steadfast and unwavering. He is always ready to forgive, to redeem, to restore. In the end, the symbolism of Hosea's marriage to Gomer is a powerful message about God's unwavering love and his desire for reconciliation with his people. Gomer's unfaithfulness reflected Israel's waywardness from God, but more importantly, it highlighted God's boundless love for his people, a love that is willing to forgive and restore, no matter the cost. God's intention was not to shame or condemn Hosea, but to demonstrate his unwavering love. Just as Hosea was called to love Gomer despite her unfaithfulness, so too does God love his people, even when they stray from his commands. This love isn't a passive emotion, it's active, pursuing, and relentless. It's a love that refuses to let go, that keeps reaching out, even when rejected time and again. Now let's reflect for a moment on Hosea's commitment. Despite Gomer's repeated betrayal, Hosea didn't turn his back on her. He didn't abandon her or cast her aside. Instead, he continued to love her, to forgive her, and to extend grace to her. This was not an easy path. It was a path marked by heartbreak, by disappointment, by pain. But Hosea walked it willingly, for this was the path that God had called him to. In the same way, God's love for us is not contingent on our performance. It's not dependent on our faithfulness. It's not diminished by our failures or mistakes. No, God's love is constant, it's steadfast, it's unfailing. Even when we are unfaithful, God remains faithful. Even when we are wayward, God continues to pursue us. Even when we betray His trust, God extends His grace and mercy to us. Let's consider the depth of this love. It's a love that sent Jesus to the cross, that bore our sins and our shame, that bridged the gap between us and God. It's a love that forgives, that redeems, that restores. It's a love that calls us back, that welcomes us home, that celebrates our return. Even in the face of betrayal, Hosea's commitment mirrored God's relentless pursuit of a relationship with Israel, a message resonating through the ages. Just as Hosea loved Gomer with an unfailing love, so too does God love us. And that, my friends, is the powerful message of Hosea's story. The story takes a redemptive turn as Hosea's journey unfolds. This scene, friends, is where the narrative of Hosea and Gomer shifts from a tale of betrayal and heartbreak to a story of hope and healing. It's a testament to the transformative power of divine love and forgiveness. As we delve deeper into the narrative, we discover that despite Gomer's repeated transgressions, Hosea, guided by God's instruction, buys her freedom from the life she's entangled in. The love he displays is relentless, unconditional, and sacrificial. It's a love that doesn't keep a record of wrongs, mirroring the love God has for His people. But why does Hosea's story take this turn of redemption? Well, it's a reflection of God's ultimate goal, which was not to punish but to restore. You see, God's intention was never to abandon Israel in their waywardness. Instead, His heart ached for reconciliation, for the chance to mend the broken ties and breathe life back into His relationship with His people. Just as Hosea was willing to redeem Gomer, God too was ready to redeem His people. He yearned to transform their hearts, to replace their disobedience with love, their rebellion with loyalty. This is the core of the gospel message. God's unwavering commitment to redeem humanity from the clutches of sin and death. And so we see in Hosea's life a powerful demonstration of God's longing for reconciliation. His actions were not motivated by a desire for retribution, but by a love that was willing to bear the weight of betrayal, to endure the pain of heartbreak, all for the sake of restoring the relationship. This, dear friends, is the heart of the story of Hosea. It's a message that God's love is relentless, His forgiveness is limitless, and His desire for reconciliation is unending. Even when we stray, even when we falter, His love for us remains steadfast. Through Hosea's life, we see God's longing for reconciliation, emphasizing that His love surpasses our shortcomings. It's a story that reminds us that no matter our past, no matter our mistakes, we are never beyond the reach of God's redeeming love. As we reflect on Hosea's story, let it remind us that God's love surpasses our mistakes. This tale of unyielding love and forgiveness is not just an ancient narrative, but a timeless message that resonates with us today. It's a call to remember that no matter how far we stray, there's always a path back to Him. It's a testament to God's boundless mercy and His longing for reconciliation with us, despite our shortcomings. This journey into Hosea's life and his extraordinary obedience to God's command has given us a deeper understanding of God's unfailing love for His people. It's a story that challenges us, inspires us, and fills us with hope. If you've been inspired by this story, why not share that inspiration? Hit that like button to show your support, subscribe if you haven't already, and join us as we continue to explore more profound biblical narratives. Your support helps us keep the conversation going, and together, we can delve deeper into these timeless stories that shape our understanding of God's love. We encourage you to ponder over these messages, to share your thoughts and reflections. Each perspective adds a unique layer to our understanding and makes this journey all the more enriching. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, may the message of Hosea inspire you to embrace the boundless love that awaits. Take care, and God bless.